Kara Vance opened her eyes. Everything was dark. Sparks flickered in the air. A loud buzzing sound filled her ears. It took her a moment to remember where she was. The Starfire, the ship had been shaking. There had been an alarm. Then, nothing. She pushed herself up. Pain shot through her arm. But she was alive. The ship was broken. The floor was tilted. Panels had fallen from the ceiling. Wires hung like vines. Smoke filled the air. Kara grabbed a small mask from the wall and put it on. It gave her a little clean air to breathe. She looked around. The crew seats were empty. No one was moving. No one was answering the ship's comms. Kara called out, "Captain? Liam? Sarah?" No reply. She stood up and limped toward the control panel. The lights were flickering. She pressed a few buttons. The ship's voice, now weak and broken, spoke, "Life support, critical. Hull damage, severe. Crew status, unknown." Kara's heart sank. She checked the life readings. Nothing. No other signals. Tears filled her eyes, but she wiped them away. She couldn't cry now. She had to think. She had to act. She tried to send a distress call. The comm system sparked and went dead. She hit the console in frustration. Then she remembered the emergency beacon. She climbed through the broken hallway. Metal groaned around her. The ship felt like it could fall apart any second. Finally, she reached the beacon control. It still worked. Barely. Kara entered a short message. "This is Kara Vance of the cargo ship Starfire. We are down in the Dragon Expanse. I am the only survivor. Please help. I repeat, please help." She pressed send. The message was weak, but it went out. Kara leaned back against the wall. The ship was silent again. Only the soft hum of the beacon remained. All she could do now was wait. Her mind whispered a dark thought. What if no one is close enough to hear? Kara shook her head. She had done her part. She had to hope. She closed her eyes for a moment, trying to stay calm. But deep down she knew this was only the beginning. Time felt slow. Kara sat in the dark, her back against the cold metal wall. The emergency lights flickered on and off. Every sound made her jump. She checked the oxygen level again. Less than 10 hours left. Kara stood up. She needed to understand where they were. Maybe there was another way to send a signal. Maybe there was something she missed. She walked back to the main control panel. The screens were broken, but one small display was still working. Kara pressed a few buttons. A map of their location appeared. Her heart sank. They were deep inside the Dragon Expanse. Kara knew the stories. Every spacer did. Ships that entered here rarely came back. Some said it was cursed, others blamed strange energy waves. Whatever the reason, the place was deadly. Kara zoomed out on the map. There were no stations nearby, no trade routes, no known ships in range. Only wreckage markers filled the map. Dozens of them. Dead ships. Lost crews. It felt like a graveyard. Kara swallowed hard. But she didn't shut off the beacon. Not yet. She sat down again, trying to think. Her training told her to save energy. She forced herself to breathe slowly. Stay calm. She looked at the broken wall in front of her. Someone had drawn a small star with a marker. It had been Liam, the pilot. He used to joke that it was their lucky star. Kara felt tears sting her eyes again. But she fought them back. Lucky star or not, I'm still here, she thought. After a while, she heard a strange noise. A low hum, almost like a heartbeat. She froze. It wasn't the ship. It wasn't her imagination. It was coming from outside. Kara's skin prickled with fear. She moved carefully to the nearest window. It was cracked but still held together. She wiped the glass with her sleeve and looked out into the dark. At first she saw nothing, just black space and broken ship parts floating. Then she saw something moving, far away, but getting closer. A shadow. Big. Silent. Her blood turned cold. She backed away from the window. Her mind raced. Something had heard the beacon, but it didn't feel like help. Kara's breath quickened. Should she shut off the signal? Should she hide? She didn't know what to do. All she knew was that something was out there, and it was coming for her. Kara stayed frozen by the window, her heart beating fast. The shape outside was clearer now. It was a ship, but it was not human. It moved too smoothly, too quietly. Kara grabbed a small scanner from the wall. She pointed it at the window. The screen showed strange symbols. The ship was old, very old. Its metal skin was cracked and burned, but it still moved like a hunter. The scanner beeped again. A message appeared on the small screen. Zorak 7 status. Active classification. Unknown origin. Known human. Kara's mouth went dry. She had heard of Zorak-class ships in old training files. They were alien warships, left behind after a war no one really talked about anymore. Most were believed to be destroyed or lost. But this one wasn't lost. It had found her. Suddenly, her ship's broken speakers cracked to life. A cold, deep voice spoke. Unidentified life form detected. Termination in progress. Kara's blood ran cold. She dropped the scanner and ran. She had to hide. She had to stay quiet. She crawled through the wreckage, careful not to make noise. She reached the storage bay. It was dark and tight, but it gave her cover. She pulled some broken panels over herself, trying to hide her body heat. She held her breath as the alien ship moved closer. The starfire shook as something heavy latched onto the outside. Kara heard metal being torn apart. The enemy was cutting into the ship. The voice came again, colder this time. Termination sequence. Lifeform escape impossible. Kara pressed her hands over her mouth to stop herself from screaming. She felt like a mouse hiding from a snake. She closed her eyes and thought fast. If she turned off the beacon now, maybe the machine would stop. Maybe it would leave. But if she did that, no one would find her. She would die here, slowly and alone. Her heart pounded in her chest. She made her choice. She would not give up. Kara stayed low, moving deeper into the wreckage. She knew the ship better than the machine did. She just needed a little more time. Time for someone to hear her call. If anyone was still out there. Kara kept moving through the wreckage. Every step felt like a risk. She tried to stay low and quiet. She could hear the metal walls creaking. The alien ship was cutting deeper into the starfire. She crawled under broken pipes and cables. The air smelled of burned wires and smoke. Kara's breathing mask was almost out of clean air. She had to hurry. She reached the engineering bay. This was her space. She knew every corner here. Kara looked around and spotted the old signal splitter. It was used to send fake signals in training drills. She had almost thrown it away last month. Now it might save her life. She connected the splitter to the beacon. With shaking hands, she programmed it to send a decoy signal from the back of the ship. It wouldn't last long, but it might fool the machine for a little while. The alien voice echoed again through the ship's speakers. Life form detected, closing in. Kara bit her lip to keep from crying out. She pressed the button to start the decoy. At once the false signal lit up on the system map. She watched the scanner closely. Zorak 7 paused. Then it moved toward the decoy. Kara let out a shaky breath. She had bought herself a little time. Not much, but enough to think. She sat on the floor, her mind racing. Should she shut the beacon down and try to hide until the oxygen ran out? Should she keep sending the signal and risk bringing someone else into the trap? She looked again at the small star Liam had drawn on the wall earlier. She remembered how he used to say, "A star's light is useless if no one sees it." Kara stood up. She wouldn't go dark. She would keep the beacon on. Someone had to hear her. She ran back toward the bridge. The ship shook again, as Zorak 7 tore deeper into the back section. She had minutes, maybe less. Kara reached the comms and turned the beacon signal to full power, even though it made her easier to find. It was a risk she had to take. She sat down again in the captain's chair, shaking but still breathing. She stared at the empty space on the screen. Please, someone answer, she thought. Please, anyone. Then something new happened. Her screen flickered. A new voice broke through the static. "This is the rescue ship Horizon. We've received your signal. Hold on. We are coming." Kara covered her mouth with both hands. Tears filled her eyes. Help had hurt her. Someone was out there. But deep inside, she knew the danger was not over. Not yet. The trap was still closing in. Kara leaned closer to the broken speaker. She could hardly believe it. A human voice. Real help. She pressed the comm button with shaking fingers. This is Kara Vance of the Starfire. Please, listen to me. There's something out here. An alien ship. It's hunting me. You have to stay away. Static filled the line for a second. Kara held her breath. Then the voice returned, steady and calm. We hear you, Kara. This is Captain Rylan of the Horizon. We've tracked your signal. We're close. Stay with us. Kara felt her throat tighten. No, you don't understand. It's called Zorak 7. It's an alien warship. It's already tearing my ship apart. If you come too close, it will trap you too. There was a long pause. Kara feared the signal had gone dead. Then Captain Ryland spoke again. This time more serious. We know the risk, but we're not leaving you behind. Kara wiped her face. She hadn't even noticed she was crying again. How long until you reach me? We're 5 minutes out, Ryland replied. We're coming in quiet. Can you move to an outer hatch? Kara looked toward the back of the ship. The area was gone, ripped apart by Zorak 7. The outer hatches there were destroyed, but she knew there was one left, near the old maintenance wing. I'll try, she said, but it's still out there. It's hunting me. Stay on this channel, the captain ordered. We'll find a way. Kara nodded to herself. She didn't have much choice. It was now or never. She stood up and grabbed a small toolkit. She knew the maintenance wing was tight and dark, but it had a hatch that might still work. She climbed through the broken halls again, moving as fast as she could. Suddenly, the ship shook hard. A loud tearing sound echoed through the walls. Zorak 7 was cutting closer again. The cold voice returned, sharper than before. Life form cornered. Termination in final stage. Kara's heart pounded in her ears. She pushed herself forward, crawling through the smoke and debris. Finally, she reached the maintenance wing. The outer hatch was still there, but the control panel was dead. She grabbed her tools and got to work, hands shaking. The comm crackled again. Kara, we have visual on your ship, Captain Ryland's voice said. Zorak 7 is moving. It's focused on the wreckage. You have one chance. Can you open the hatch? Kara bit her lip. I'm trying. The panel is dead. Ryland's voice stayed calm. We're sending a micro-drone with a signal booster. It will reach you in 30 seconds. Stay ready. Kara kept working, cutting wires and reconnecting them by hand. Sparks flew. The ship groaned again as Zorak 7 moved outside. Then through the small window, she saw it, a tiny flashing light floating toward her. The micro-drone. She grabbed it and plugged it into the panel. The hatch lights blinked once, twice, then turned green. It worked. Kara hit the release button. The hatch slid open with a loud hiss. Kara turned back one last time, looking into the dark ship that had been her home. She whispered, "Goodbye." She climbed through the hatch and into the cold, open space. Ahead she saw the horizon, lights glowing, waiting for her. She knew the real fight was about to begin. Kara floated carefully toward the horizon. Her oxygen mask was almost empty. Her arms and legs felt heavy. The rescue ship's lights glowed in the darkness, showing her the way. We've got you in sight, Kara. Keep coming, Captain. Ryland's voice said through her comm. Behind her the Starfire groaned louder than before. Zorak 7 was almost finished tearing it apart. Kara knew she had little time left. Suddenly, a sharp alarm sounded in her helmet. Zorak 7 had noticed her. The huge alien ship turned. Its dark body moved smoothly through the wreckage. Its cold voice filled the air again. Life form detected. Termination locked. Kara's breathing quickened. She pushed herself toward the horizon with all her strength. It's seen me, she shouted. It's coming. We see it too, Captain Ryland replied. Stick to your path. We have a plan. Kara kept going. A small hatch on the side of the horizon opened. 2 crew members reached out and pulled her inside just as Zorak 7 fired a red energy beam. It missed by inches. Kara fell to the floor, gasping for breath. The crew quickly sealed the hatch. "We've got you," one of them whispered. Kara looked up. Captain Ryland stood over her. He gave her a short nod. "You're safe, but not for long. It's locked onto us now," he said. Kara sat up, still shaking. "What's the plan?" The captain pointed to a large screen. A small drone was already flying away from the ship. It carried a strong decoy beacon, much bigger than the one Kara had used. "We're going to trick it. When it chases the decoy, we'll hit it with a pulse bomb. It should disable its systems long enough for us to jump to light speed," Ryland explained. Kara swallowed hard. "And if it doesn't work?" Ryland's face stayed calm. "Then we fight." The crew worked fast. The drone sped toward an empty asteroid field. Zorak 7 turned, following the fake signal. Kara watched in silence. Every second felt like an hour. Finally, the captain gave the order. "Fire the pulse bomb." A bright flash shot from the horizon. It hit Zorak 7 square in the center. The alien ship shook. Its lights flickered. For a moment nothing happened. Then the cold voice echoed again. Weaker this time. "Systems failing. Lifeform threat. Ending." The alien ship drifted motionless. The crew cheered. Ryland turned to the pilot. "Get us out of here. Full speed." The engines roared. The stars stretched into long lines as the horizon jumped to light speed, leaving the Dragon expanse behind. Kara sat back in her seat, breathing deeply. She was safe, truly safe this time. Her long nightmare was over. Kara sat quietly in the medical bay of the horizon. Her breathing mask was gone now. She was safe. Clean air filled her lungs again. A soft blanket covered her. A hot drink sat in her hands. She held it tightly, feeling the warmth. The ship's doctor, a kind woman named Ada, checked her vitals. "You're going to be okay," Ada said with a smile. Kara nodded slowly. Her body still felt weak, but her heart felt lighter. After a while, Captain Ryland entered the room. He sat down across from her. "We're clear of the expanse now," he said. "You did well back there." Kara looked down at the drink in her hands. "I almost gave up." The captain leaned forward. "But you didn't. You held on. That's what saved you. And us." Kara felt her throat tighten again. She took a deep breath. "Thank you for coming for me." Ryland gave her a small nod. "You're part of the crew now, Kara. You don't have to face the dark alone anymore." Kara didn't know what to say. For so long she had felt like just an engineer, just someone who fixed things in the background. But now she felt different, stronger, braver. Later she walked to the ship's viewing deck. Stars filled the window. Bright, endless stars. No longer cold, no longer far away. She thought of the starfire. She thought of Liam's little star drawing on the wall. She closed her eyes and whispered, "I made it." Kara smiled softly. For the first time in days she felt peace. The horizon moved forward, leaving the dead ships and dark space behind. Kara knew her journey wasn't over. It was just beginning. And this time, she wasn't alone.